Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of the Tommy Knits Knitting Podcast. It's been a few weeks and I haven't made much progress on the things that I showed before. However, I have been knitting a lot. It's just all mostly new projects. But it's okay because I've been following my inspiration. Anyway, I'm going to start by talking about what I'm wearing. I don't think I've shown this sweater before, but if I have, I apologize. This is the Horses sweater by Lopi Designs. It's a free pattern from the Lopi Designs website, and it's a circular yoke colorwork bottom up. I don't really remember, but I think that the blue yarn and then the creamy yarn are Plymouth yarns Galway worsted, and the brown yarn is Berroco Lanas. Um, I knit this last year, and I had a really fun time working this yoke up because it's just super fun. It's my first time that I was doing something with super long floats, and I think if I was to do it now, it probably would have turned out a little bit better. Just because, like, I don't know, some of these stitches after the long floats are a little bit loose. But anyway, I think it still looks great. And I think that the sweater isn't supposed to be super serious anyway. Anyway, let's jump into the projects that I've been working on for the past few weeks. I'll start with the project that I think is the only one to have carried over from my last video, and this is my 1980s Olympics Lake Placid sweater from Dale, Norway. I'm doing this in Berroco Lanas Light. This is the color raspberry, and then this is the color white or cream or something. I don't really remember, maybe natural. I have made a lot of progress. I'm working on this as part of a knit along that I'm hosting. In my description, there will be a link to a Discord if you would like to join. The pattern is in there. It's also in my link tree. So far, I think like 6 or 7 people have cast it on, and there's definitely more people planning to. So if you're interested in making this sweater, I really recommend joining because we've been having a lot of fun just talking about all the different considerations as we're knitting through this. It's been a lot of fun to have a community of people to talk through different parts of this pattern because it's going to take so long to finish it. Anyway, I think last time I only had the ribbing done. Maybe I was a little bit further, but now I've already made it like, I want to say 2 inches into the main pattern. I'm gonna need to knit until this whole thing measures 17 inches, so I'm quite a ways off. But I'm really happy with how it's turning out. I want to show my floats for a second. I think that in these first 2 patterns, the floats are like okay. I think through this main pattern, they're way more satisfying because it's kind of fun that it's like speckly. I think this main pattern section is going to take a while because it's 2 rounds of white and then 1 round of 1x1 color work with the raspberry. And it's not a particularly fast undertaking. I'm willing to take my time on this sweater because I consider it to be like an heirloom piece kind of thing where like somebody is going to inherit this sweater and then somebody's going to inherit it from that person. And, you know, I just feel like I want it to be well done. And so I'd rather take my time to make it to the quality level that I want instead of finishing it really fast and taking shortcuts. The next project that I'm working on, which I might have talked about last time, but honestly I don't remember and I didn't go and look back, which maybe I should have gone and looked back. Whatever. I'm not very good at this. Um this is my Holger sweater by Petite Knit. I'm making this for my boss's daughter's 2nd birthday, which is coming up in a few weeks. I finished a few inches into the body and then I did a sleeve. I think I have, I think figured out that I need 16 stripes after the underarm, and I have almost 6 stripes, so, you know, not close, but not far from being done. The green yarn is Cascade 220. The white yarn is Patons Classic Wool. This collar yarn is the DK weight base superwash from Hazel Knits. And then this sleeve is Cascade 220. And then I am probably going to do the second sleeve next. I think I'm going to do it in this yarn, which is Rosa Pomar Brusca. I think that this just goes very well. And then I'm still deciding for the ribbing at the bottom of the body. In the pattern, she uses yet another color. But I was thinking I could either do the neckline color again. I don't know if I have enough of this yarn. Or I have this yarn. Or in a very similar color, I have this one. Um, I don't know. I still haven't decided. I think I'm gonna wait until I have all of it done before I choose. I like to do the sleeves before I finish the body. Recently, I haven't always done it that way, but in my halibut sweater, I did that for the first time, and it's so much easier to do a sleeve when you don't have the full weight of the body, like, weighing on you. I will say with this, when there's two balls of yarn attached to the body, it's kind of annoying because they twist up on each other as you keep turning the work to knit the sleeve, but, like, I still think it's a worthy way to make it less annoying. Anyway, I'm super excited. I'm probably going to do this today. Because this sleeve only took me like a day and a half, maybe 2 days to do. Because it's a baby sleeve. It's so short and cute. I even did Italian bind off on this sleeve, which I don't normally do Italian bind off, but since this is like child size, there's not many stitches, so I was willing to do it. It's also kind of made me think that maybe I should try doing it on mine more because it does create quite a nice look, but I'm partial to the Icelandic bind off still. My next project I've been working on is the Sand Dollar Polo by Callie's Threads. I'm working on this as part of the Sand Dollar Polo Cal. This is a crochet project. I don't actually know where my crochet hook went right now, but I'll find it later. I finished the back panel and now I'm starting to do the sleeve. I'm really liking how this is working up. I think this is actually the right side. I'm not much of a crocheter. I haven't made a garment before this, so it's been a fun first garment to make. Um, I got this yarn last year, uh, and I was planning on making a shirt with it, but then it kind of fell through and I never ended up making a shirt with it. So this is the perfect project to use it on because every knitting shirt that I tried to do, I just wasn't liking how it was turning out. This one is Malabrigo Verano in the color Arugula. And then this one is Misti Alpaca Tonos Pima Silk in the color Bamboo. I think that the pattern was originally written in wool, and I can see that the drape of the cotton is very different, and like also it's like a little duller, and I'm not 100% sure how I feel about it, but I am gonna finish it and then decide, and if I don't like it, maybe it will be a really nice gift for somebody, but we'll see. Well, I found my crochet hook. It was hiding in another project, but I've been having to take breaks as I crochet on this because as you can see, this is not a very ergonomic hook. Um, I will say though that like, I don't know, this material I find to be the most pleasant to crochet with. Although, now that I think about it, I don't know that I've actually tried any other brand of hooks, but I'm very loyal to Susan. Susan Bates. I learned how to crochet on her. Anyway, I've been having to take a lot of breaks in my crocheting because it's been like easy to make my hands hurt. This is how I hold my hook. I don't know, sometimes it's like this. Sometimes it's like this. Anyway, I probably should just like put a giant grip on this so I can just hold it like this, you know? My next project, I've kind of barely started, but this is yarn that I got gifted from the Violent Cat Lady. Her name is Jade. She's on Instagram and TikTok, I think, maybe other places. This is Phoenix Tweed yarn. I think that she's the only supplier of it in the US and it's sold on her website. But she gifted this to me, which is so crazy. And I'm gonna make a balaclava with it. So the way that I'm gonna do it is like this is gonna be a rectangle at the top of my head, and then I'm gonna pick up stitches along the sides and then like knit back and forth to the side of my head until I reach like here, and then I'm gonna cast on stitches and then do some ribbing for like the neckband, and then I'm gonna pick up stitches around the face to do some ribbing for like framing the face. It's gonna be like a slouchy balaclava. You can see that my gauge is like kind of loose. To be honest, I didn't actually like do a gauge swatch and block it or anything, so I'm assuming that when I wash this, it might bloom a little bit. But the yarn is kind of like it's a merino strand with like the fluff attached to it. So I feel like it kind of reminds me of like when you do a single mohair strand project. I don't live somewhere where it gets cold enough that I need to worry about like a super, super warm balaclava. So I think that this gauge will work out well. And I feel confident that I'll have enough yarn to finish it at this gauge. Because if I went tighter, then maybe I wouldn't have enough. I don't really know. I knit this up in like maybe 20 minutes, so it will be fast whenever I decide to really do it. Because it's on 8 millimeter needles, which is US 11. Another cast on. I have this, which is just a simple raglan sweater. It's like super scrunchy, so I don't actually know how to show this and have it look pretty, but maybe just trust that it is pretty. This is in Germantown yarn by Kelbourne Woolens. This yarn was gifted to me in January to make my 2025 cable sweater, but after knitting it up like through halfway of the yoke, I decided that it wasn't really looking the way that I wanted it to. So I ripped it back, got different yarn for that project, and then this has kind of been sitting. There was another project that I started with this yarn that I actually knit all the way to like maybe 1 inch left of the body, but I kind of fell out of love with what I was doing. Anyway, now I've started this. This is a sweater that my friend's mom has commissioned me to make. It's going to be like just a basic raglan, and I'm going to duplicate stitch a Wheaten dog on here because she works with a Wheaten dog rescue charity and they're doing an auction in November, and she asked if she could commission me to make a sweater that they can include in the auction. So I said yes. I don't really do commissions, but it's for a good reason, you know, charity. So yeah, I think that it will knit up pretty quickly because the way that I've done this is I'm using the Versal sweater pattern by Ailbíona McLochlainn. Um, this is I'm using all the stitch counts from size 3 on there. So I cast on the number of neckline stitches for that size, and then I did the short rows for that size. And then instead of doing the increases as written in the pattern, I just used the stitch count at the neckline and then the stitch count at the end of the increases and turned all of that into a raglan increase. So it's like the same number of stitches increased just as raglans instead of the cool shaping that the pattern uses. That was just so that it would be easier for me. I cast this on a little less than a week ago and it's been going pretty fast. So I think I'll be able to finish it quickly. And I've never duplicate stitched before, so this will be a fun place to learn it. My final thing that I want to talk about is a swatch. Um, you might be able to see in the background that I have organized a yarn wall over here. And in that organization, this yarn and this yarn ended up next to each other. And I saw that and I was like, I feel like I need to swatch that up and see how it will look. And I did, and I think it's so beautiful. And I definitely am gonna have to make a sweater in this. I haven't really decided what I want to do yet. I'm trying to be like very intentional because I think this is like such a beautiful combo that I know whatever it is, I'm going to want to wear it all the time. I want to make sure I do a construction that I'll want to wear all the time. I think I'm not the biggest fan of drop shoulders really because I have really wide shoulders. So by the time it's dropping, it just ends up being like so big in the body. But I did make a drop shoulder from a vintage pattern where there's a bunch of decreases right at the like start of the body, so I might try to do something like that. But I also know that I love a Versal sweater, so I might just do an off-gauge Versal sweater. This yarn I got from my mom. It is Nature Spun. It's from the 90s or something. My mom said that she got this yarn to make a sweater for my dad, but then didn't finish it because he doesn't really wear sweaters. But this color is called Stone, and I feel like it leans towards brown more than it leans towards gray, but it's a little bit cool tone on its own. And then this is Sedasuri by Lana Grossa, and I feel like this one leans a little bit warm on its own, but I feel like together it's like a perfect tone for me. So I guess I just wanted to show this swatch because if next time there is another cast on with this, you know, you've been warned. That's all I have for this time. I feel like that was a lot of new projects, but I feel like I'm finally getting like my knitting spark back. So, I might as well just follow it wherever it takes me because at the end of the day, it will all get done eventually. If you like this video, you should like it. If you like me, you should subscribe to my channel and you should leave a comment on whatever you're currently working on. Bye.